Why hello, and season's greetings, Happy New Year, welcome to my arty channel. My Hobonichi order came in, so let's unbox my 2024 order. Just a note, no, I wasn't injured despite my dodgy knife skills. Now, as usual, the box includes a poem, a calendar is filled with numbers, days that have passed and days still to come. It's funny, of all of them, the only one we are living is today. The only day we can reach out and touch is today. Thank you, Safety Matches Fireside Chat. Now, I've been getting Hobonichi Techos for the last couple of years. I've tried the weekly, I've tried the original, and this year, 2023, I've tried the cousin, the English cousin. And I think I've decided I'm an English cousin kind of person, so that's what I got again this year. Now, they always give you a special little gift, and this year's gift is, of course, in this very shiny, mysterious package, a little tote bag with a very nice Japanese dish on the front. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's very tasty. And the bag is just the right size to fit the amount of groceries I can afford after buying this expensive planner. Which of course is very much worth it. Now, if you've seen any of my drawing videos, you know I'm a cat person. So I basically had to get this particular cover. It was impossible not to. And of course they always send a pen. I think it's made by Jetstream, but it's got 3 colours, red, blue and black, and it's a really good pen to use for all the Hobonichi planners. But I have now become absolutely addicted to fountain pens. Of course, I don't have many, I have like 3, but I'm addicted to using particularly my Sailor fountain pen. Look at all these beautiful cats. I mean, it was really an easy decision for me this year. Usually I spend quite a bit of time trying to work out what to get, and by the time I decide, half of the covers I wanted have sold out. Thankfully, this one wasn't sold out and I got it straight away. Now it's also new for 2024, I think, the HON version, HON, which is basically a Techo, a Cousin Techo with a hard cover. So normally it's a soft cover, but it's almost like it's got a cover included, so you don't have to buy a separate cover, which is a little bit cheaper. These illustrations are, I guess, encouraging us to be present in our life, which is a nice thought. Lots of scenes of animals living their best life. I like how there's a cat on one side and a dog on the other side. And here's some ideas on how people have used their life book, their planner. very inspirational. And this little bit of plastic card thing is basically a pencil board. I think it just stops indentations going on to the next page if you're using a pen or a pencil. At least that's what I use it for. I think that's what it's meant for. Not that things really indent through very much with the materials that I use, but it's there if needed. Now, so there's a couple of calendars there, and here's like a yearly spread. Which last year I just used to try and track habits and I guess my weight and exercise at times. Now these are the monthly pages. Generally I just use these to record appointments and things I have to see at a glance. But the main reason I use my cousin for is these vertical weekly spreads. So 7 days, I generally record basically a to-do list for work and home. But the cousin has daily pages. I think that's the main draw card for most people, which I love, but I find it really difficult to know what to fill my daily pages with. So 2024, I am determined to use the daily pages to fill them out every day. There's a timetable which I didn't really use last year either. In fact, I didn't really use many of the end pages at all. I wasn't really sure what to use most of them for. Okay, this one includes, for 2024, an interview with myself. The one thing I'm determined to do in 2024? Well, we will get to that. I do have some plans. My favourite thing to have for lunch? Probably tacos. A message to my future self. That's a very big question. I'm going to have to think about that one. Seasonal sweets to make at home. This one is very tempting. Caring for your eyes, some very good tips. Watch out how you use your smartphone. Very nice. 365 days check-off sheet. This is something else I struggle to know what to do with. Getting the most out of your Hobonichi Techo. So there's a QR code with some links. Hopefully there's a lot of inspiration under that one. Lots of ideas for how to use your Techo from real Techo users. I am going to look that up because I need some inspiration, particularly for those daily pages. And there we go. I think with this 2024 Techo, my life book, I think 2024 is going to be a good year. I mean, how can it not be? I have a planner covered in cats. That is a very good start to the year. Now here's my 2023 Hobonichi Cousin. Please do not judge my very badly decorated, and some would say anti-aesthetic spreads. At some point I've discovered this stamp from a shop in Sydney, and I've been using it to mark off the monthly pages or monthly squares in the month. Yeah, but I hope this little kitty cat isn't swearing at me or something ridiculous. it's probably not a good idea to buy a stamp of a language that you don't understand, but I did it. And it's too late now. As you can see, there have been many months and weeks and days that I haven't actually filled anything out. And that's partly because I didn't have anything I really wanted to put in there, or I lost motivation, or I just generally didn't feel like I wanted to do anything. But the times when I did use the planner, particularly for work and any sort of home tasks as well, I just had a whole lot of motivation to get through tasks that would normally just be waiting to be done. Whereas this gave me a little bit of a push to do things and cross them off. So this is basically what I used the weekly spread for, but this is just an example of a very brief way of how I did it. If I was actually doing this, it would be more drilled down, but at the moment, I'm just giving you a bit of an idea. So first up, I write in the home tasks that I plan on doing, and mostly that's just cleaning. It can be things like doing groceries or making sure to organise a particular part of the house, or any sort of general chore or errand I need to do. And then after that, I guess the main reason I have a planner is for work. I'm not going to put the tasks down here, but basically I just list a bunch of things that need to be done, and I use it as a to-do list to check things off. And I also write a list of what I have done as well. So it'll be a combination to-do list and a combination record of things that I've done. Mostly because I can look back on various weeks or months of the past, and I can either use it to say that I've done these things, or it's a good reminder for if I ever want to use particular examples of things in interviews or in performance reviews, or anything where I've basically got to bring up some work information of things that I've done. It's really just a record for me. Now, these daily pages, they are the big draw card for most people who buy the Cousin. At least, that's what I assume. But for me, I love the idea of them, and I've tried various things. Like I've used it as a journal at one point, but I'm really not very good at that. My life is basically, most days are generally the same. I don't see a lot of people. The things that I do are pretty much the same every week or month, with the odd outlying trip away or particular event that'll happen. But in general, my day-to-day life is fairly stable, and I don't really have a lot to talk about. My life outside of work is really just filled with my hobbies, and so that's why I'm kind of thinking about taking it in a different direction. So this is my main idea, is to use the pages to do a little bit of a drawing. Obviously better than this Christmas tree that I've done here, but now I have some big plans for 2024. I have 2 new hobbies I'm adding to the mix, which means I have to come up with more time in my day, which will be a struggle. As you can see, I'm thinking about learning Korean. Well, my wife and I are planning on doing a trip to Korea sometime either next year or the year after, and it'll be nice to know a little bit of the language. She's become obsessed with Korean culture since the pandemic, basically, and I've kind of been drawn into it all. As motivation, we bought this Korean calendar, Republic of Korea. We've attempted to learn a little bit of the Hangul, the alphabet, which, as you can see, I'm not very good at so far. This is an idea to maybe do some practice in the planner for the year. I'm just not sure what I would put in there. Try to write words or something, I'm not sure. Now another idea is to practice piano, or basically practice music theory in the Hobonichi. As you can see, we bought a piano, so my wife and I are going to attempt to learn to play in 2024. I don't know how that's going to go, but we both enjoy music, so it'll be something to try at least, and it's very fun. At the moment I know 2 chords, and you can do a lot with 2 chords, so imagine what you could do with 3 chords. But I'm not really sure how this would work as far as using the Hobonichi for. I guess I could record practice sessions or something, but I'm not sure. Here's a little sample of how dodgy I am after 1 hour of playing. And of course I've always just wanted to do that. Another idea is basically the same thing, but with guitar. So maybe recording practice sessions of what I've done, or trying to learn some more music theory regarding guitar. I'm not sure how that would work though. I've been playing guitar most of my life just very badly, but I've never actually learned music theory or much music theory. So maybe this is the time of my life to attempt to do that, because it'll definitely make me a better guitarist. And maybe playing guitar and piano at the same time might actually help each other. Yeah, my cat agrees. So we'll see. There's a few options. Now this is probably the main contender of how I will use the Techo in 2024. My channel is mostly an art channel, so I definitely need to practice my art. As you can see, I need basically more practice of all the fundamentals, particularly anatomy. Shading obviously needs some work as well from these dodgy examples, but in general, maybe I could use the daily pages as some practice pages for a particular fundamental skill that I should be concentrating on for that particular week or day. But then again, I kind of think that's what a sketchbook is for. And my final idea so far is basically, I bought a mini printer, Polaroid high print, and it just prints out photos from your smartphone. I find this might be a good addition, not for every daily page, but for particular days or times when I've taken a very nice picture related to whatever I've done for the day. It might be a good idea to add some pictures throughout the daily pages. Would definitely spruce up what my planner looks like at the moment. I think that's what I need for 2024. I think I need a more aesthetically pleasing planner. I don't want it to be all about just my work tasks and any chores I need to get done. Now, timetable. Next year I want to have more of a routine, so this can be a practice run for next year. A practice run of my practice timetable. After doing this, I've come to the conclusion that it's very unrealistic for me to do all of these things in a week. To learn Korean, learn piano, keep learning guitar, and keep learning art. That's 4 things. When you work full time, it's hard to find time for everything. So what I've written down here is an ideal week. Let's say I do 30 minutes of each of these things. That's still a lot of time. That's 2 hours a day by the time I put all of these things into the mix. So at some point, I'll probably have to really think about what would be the most beneficial way of learning each one of these things, because I also need time to shoot and edit videos, which this is what my second timetable could possibly be. Actually, maybe a cleaning timetable might be better, but let's say it's a YouTube production timetable for my little art videos. Let's say I film something on the weekend and I try and edit it with a day on the weekend and a couple through the week. Maybe that could work. I'd like to become a bit more consistent with my videos. The art videos take a long time to edit, but I'm thinking maybe I might start uploading some progress videos or some practice videos of me doing the other things as well. Me practicing Korean, me practicing piano, guitar, and maybe even a bit more of a variety of what I do for my art videos. I just realised I've forgotten some very important tasks. Well, not exactly practice. I need to do this. So I'm putting down gym, but by that I mean weight training. I think I need to really focus on that this year. And the other days, maybe 3 times a week to do some running or walking. Maybe walk leading up to run. So yes, I'm saying 2024, I would like to try and get a bit fitter. Now my 100, my favourite things. You can see I didn't fill out these, which I never seem to do, but I'm determined to fill them out in 2024. So maybe if you come back in a year to my channel, perhaps I will have filled out both of those things for 2024. Now 365 days check-off sheet. I really need some ideas on what to do with that. I need to do some research on that and see what other people have done, or if you have some ideas, please leave them in the comments. And that's it. That's basically my plans for the new year and for my Hobonichi Techo English Cousin, full of cats. If you've got any tips for me, any ideas, particularly for the daily pages, please leave some in the comments. I would really appreciate it actually. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful new year, and let's go into 2024 hopeful that it'll be a good year for all of us, including all the cats. Until next time, take care of yourself.